Welcome to No BS Job Search Advice Radio. I'm your host, Jeff Altman, the Big Game Hunter, the head coach for JobSearchCoachingHQ.com, and welcome. This is a question that again is asked on second interviews, just like one of the earlier questions I asked this week, or I've created a show around this week. And it's a fun question. And it's got a nice little technique. So it's not just simply how you answer it, but the technique that's spun at the end that gets them off of focusing on you and back on themselves. That really makes this great. Hope you found this helpful, and give it 5 stars on iTunes or Stitcher. It helps other people discover the show. And if you like the show, come over to Facebook and my page there. And the page is Jeff Altman, the Big Game Hunter. Please give me 5 stars, a thumbs up, a great review. It'll help other people on Facebook find the show, and that does make a difference. And now, let's get going. I've got one of those tough interview questions that's designed to, well, I'm not sure what it's designed to do. The fact of the matter is, to me, it's not so tough. But it's one that, in the heat of the second interview, usually, occasionally it's asked in the first. It surprises people, so because they're not prepared and there's nothing that gives them a context for the question, it kind of stumps them. So the question basically is, what qualities do you look for in a manager and a boss? Things along those lines. Now, again, not a tough question, but let's kind of break it down. You start off by going, well, I like a manager. I work well with a manager who treats people of all sorts with courtesy and respect, and values input and ideas from their people. Doesn't necessarily have to follow them, but looks for the input, kind of sorts it out, and it gives you the impression that it matters to them what I think. I also work well with a manager who is very clear about what's expected of me, what my responsibilities will be, what sort of boundaries exist on my work. Someone who can streamline my area so that they're removing roadblocks or barriers from doing my job. Someone who trusts me and thus doesn't think I need a lot of supervision, but also expects that I'm going to come to them for help or advice or input, or if I'm struggling and need support. I think also availability is helpful. So you get where I'm coming from. These are legitimate qualities that you expect from a manager, and you kind of give them back this kind of an answer. And the key thing is to always sound like you're thinking of it, that it's not a rehearsed answer. So if you made your answer sound like it's a checklist, it's going to sound like you planned for this. So you notice how I'm kind of sounding reflective as I answer this question. That's really the key to it. But then there's one more piece. So don't think like you're off the hook here. The one more piece is to flip the question and go, what's your style like? Now, let's be practical. Are any of do you think anyone's going to tell you, well, I'm kind of abrupt and I don't really care what my people think. And, it's your problem to get rid of the barriers to your success. And I really don't care what you think about or what your thoughts are. You think anyone's going to say that to you? Of course not. They're going to feed back exactly what they've just heard you say, and that's going to help hook them into you, because to say anything to the contrary is going to make them defensive. And after all, if you've shared that, that's a good one that they can share their response to you. So again, the lack of preparedness is the biggest issue with this question. And forgetting to flip the answer to the manager or boss and ask them what their style is like is the second mistake. Always got to do that flip at the end. It'll help nail the hire. So that's today's show. I hope you found it helpful. And if you did, here are a few ways to connect with me. First of all, if you're interested in one-to-one coaching from me, email me at jeffaltman@thebiggamehunter.us. In the subject line, put the word coaching. This way I know what it's about. I can get back in touch with you. We'll figure out a time to speak for an introductory conversation so that I learn what your needs are and you can figure out if I'm the right person to help you. Generally, I work with people at a manager level and above, but I do make exceptions from time to time. If you're not at that level and want advice from me, the best way is through JobSearchCoachingHQ.com. There I have curated information that I've developed and others have as well that you can watch, listen to, or read that's going to help you find work more quickly. Again, you can ask me questions through the site. I'd be very happy to answer your questions. I look forward to helping you in either of those two ways. And if we're not connected on LinkedIn, send a connection request to me at linkedin.com/IN/TheBigGameHunter. Mention that you listen to the show because I love hearing from fans, from listeners who have been helped by the show. And like me on Facebook. The page is facebook.com/NoBSCoachingAdvice.com, or look for Jeff Altman, the Big Game Hunter there. Give me 5 stars, a great review. It helps other people discover the show. And I'll be back tomorrow with more. In the meantime, have a great day. Take care.
Progressive brings you Flowetry with Flo.
When Flo flows, she flows in the know. Mind ruminates the rates. Shown them all, I heed the call. Seeing the rest, I choose the best. Sometimes it's ours, sometimes it's not. When the fox walks, is it called a fox trot? That's a real question.
Compare Progressive Direct rates with competitors' rates. Visit Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Comparison rates not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how